Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my March wrap-up. I only read 3 books this month, but that's better than the one that I read in February, so I'm totally okay with it. I'm halfway through a 4th book. I wanted to try and finish it today. I am currently participating in the 8 and 2 challenge by 25 in 5. They're an Instagram account that hosts reading challenges throughout the year. So for this one, you have to read for a total of 8 hours in 2 days. I only read just over an hour yesterday, so technically I should try to read 7 hours today, which I don't think is going to happen, but I'm still going to try to participate in the challenge a little more, hang out in my backyard, and just finish it. But let's talk about the books that I did actually read. So the first book that I finished this month was Bloom by Kevin Panetta and Savannah Ganuccia, and it is a graphic novel. I really want to get into graphic novels more this year, not necessarily like comics like The Walking Dead, but more like thick chunky books like this. This was set in a little beach town. It's about this kid Ari who is Greek, and his family owns a bakery, and it's supposed to be something that he's going to like eventually take on, but it's not what he wants. He's in a band. He wants to move to a big city and be a rock star basically, but his parents want him and sort of like need him to stay and help them. And then this boy Hector moves into town. I think his grandmother has just passed away, and he's kind of like taking care of her house and cleaning it out, and he loves to bake. And Ari puts out a help wanted letter, and Hector answers it. So he starts working at the bakery, and there's a little romance between the two of them, and it was just super cute. I have a lot of pink tabs in this because I just thought the moments between them were so cute, and the artwork in this is also amazing. I don't know which of the authors. I'm assuming it's Savannah. She's the one who did all the artwork for it, but I'm just going to show you. Like, normally I don't like that there's not a lot of dialogue in graphic novels, but these scenes are so detailed in the drawings that it really didn't even bother me at all in this, because just from like the illustrations, you got such a deep vibe from what was going on, and I thought this was such a cute book. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I think it took me 2 days to read, just because it is quite thick, and I was kind of not trying to rush through it and just enjoy it a little more, because graphic novels that I read in December, one of them I really enjoyed. It was silly and goofy, and the other one, while it had some good themes about like online bullying and just watching out like stranger danger online, I didn't connect with the character very well, and I didn't like it as much. But I loved the characters in this. I love the artwork. The story is super cute. 5 out of 5 stars. The second book that I finished was King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo, and I am really torn about my feelings for this. I ended up giving it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And honestly, when I saw people's reviews on Goodreads that it was like 3.5 stars, I thought that they were crazy. I just really couldn't fathom how people weren't in love with this book and how it wasn't a 5 out of 5 stars for everybody until I read it. Normally the first book in a series is so jam-packed with meeting new characters and developing the world and the storyline that it's so good. But this felt more like a second or third book in a series for a couple reasons. We are already familiar with the Grishaverse. We are already familiar with Nikolai and Nina and Genya and David and Zoya and all of the other amazing characters, and the book kind of felt like filler to me. So the beginning was a little slow up until I'm trying not to be spoilery, up until Nico and Zoya go off on their own adventure. It was really slow for me until that. Obviously, I knew Zoya was going to be a badass like Grisha queen, so it's great to see that that is coming to light, but I just wasn't captivated until like the last fourth of the story. And I'm sad about that because this is another duology. So Leigh Bardugo is going to put out one more book to be a companion to this, and then that is pretty much it for the Grishaverse. I know that we're getting a series on Netflix, and that because she's working with the writers, who knows what new stuff she might throw into it, but we're not going to get any more new reading material after the second book. So I was really hoping that this was going to be like jam-packed and kind of like satisfy my craving for this world. So I'm hoping that the second book is amazing and kind of makes up for my disappointment in this. I still loved all of the characters. I love that we're getting to see more of Zoya as not just like a general, but as a person and what made her that way. And it was nice to see Nikolai a little unsure of himself. He's always such like a confident and strong character. And this book really shook him, the things that are going on with him, his fears for Ravka, and wanting to be the best that there is and pretending to be that person, but inside knowing that he may not be and that it might cost him his kingdom. Like I said, 3 out of 5 stars. Kind of disappointed, but it was still nice to revisit characters that I loved and to be a part of a world again that I absolutely love. The third book that I finished this month is Four Dead Queens by Astrid Schult, and I loved this book. It was 5 out of 5 stars. It gave me a little Divergent vibes just because the world is split into 4 different groups. There's Ludists, Taurians, Eonists, and Archeists, I believe. And each quadrant is in charge of a specific function. So if you're an Eonist, you're all about technology and advancement. Ludists focus on art and fun, basically. Taurians are about knowledge, and Archeists, I can't remember if it's Archeans or Archeists, but they are solely agricultural, and all together they help Quadra be a functioning society. And each, I want to say faction because that's what I'm reminded of from Divergent, but each Quadra is controlled by a queen. So they are the 4 queens of Quadra. And this story is basically about their murders, who did it, and the twists and turns along the way. The main character, Carolee, I really liked her. I totally ship her with Varen. I thought that they make a great team. They have really good complementary like characteristics. She is opening his eyes to what's out there in the world outside of just being an Eonist who is strict by the law, only worried about technology and advancement. And he is kind of softening her a little bit. She is a thief. She works as a dipper for Mikhail. So basically she steals from people and he sells the items that she steals and she gets a cut from it. But Varen is teaching her that there is more to just being a thief, and that she can be a better person and deal with the ghosts of her past, because she does have some family issues, some issues with herself. And overall, this was refreshing. The twists and turns at the end of the story, I was not expecting. About halfway through the story, I was like, oh, this is what's gonna happen. Like, Carolee is gonna be this person, and this is what's gonna happen. And then we got to the end, and Astrid was like, nope, you're wrong. Really, really good read. I'm glad that I got at least one 5-star read. I'm glad that I picked this up after King of Scars. Like I mentioned, I was just a little disappointed by how it played out, but this made me feel so much better. Right now I'm currently reading Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I am super behind on all things Shadowhunters. I read the first 3 Mortal Instruments books for sure in high school. I think I read the 4th one, but I can't remember. I know there's a 5th in that series that I definitely did not read. I think I read all of The Infernal Devices, I do have the book set on my top shelf, but I might need to reread them. And I just didn't want to have to start over. So I know that each series connects a little bit and there's some background information that you do need, but I already know enough about the world that I was like, I'm just gonna start Lady Midnight and see where it goes. I'm really enjoying it so far. I already ship Emma and Julian, and they better get together. They're both so in love with each other, and they don't know that the other person is in love with them. And I just got to the part where Drusilla suggests that they set up, oh, I can't remember her name, the girl that's staying with them with Julian, and Emma's reaction was heartbreaking because she can't say anything about it. Because they're parabatai, it means that they are forbidden from being in a romance. I understand it. They are sworn to protect each other and to be by each other's sides for the rest of their lives. And romance can kind of get in the way of your, like, logical thinking. And as a parabatai, you need to be making the best decisions for your partner. And if you're in a romantic relationship with them, you might have, like, a skewed view of what's right and wrong and what needs to be done. So, but either way, I'm super rooting for them. I'm glad to be back in the world of Shadowhunters. I really loved when I read the first few books. When I finished the third book in the Mortal Instruments, the fourth one, which I think is Heavenly Fire, wasn't out yet, which is why that's kind of where I stopped reading. I also wasn't super into the whole Clary and Jace are, but like, aren't siblings thing, and they're, oh, I love you, but we can't be together because we're siblings, and it just wasn't my favorite thing. I do want to reread the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices to kind of like get back into that world, but for now I'm starting with Lady Midnight, and I'm happy with that choice. So in total, I read 3 books for March, which, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm happy with because I only read 1 book in February, which I was super disappointed about. So I'm glad that I'm kind of like moving forward. In April, I'm planning to read 5 books for the Magical Readathon hosted by at Book Roast. G is amazing. I participated in one of her readathons in December, and it's why I read 5 books that month. So I'm really hoping to push myself to read those books in April and just have like a good reading month. If you want to see the books that I chose for my Magical Readathon TBR, I will put the link down below, or it will be in the end screen. That's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.